Hello, welcome to week 10 of our meditation. Let me share. Today, our meditation for week 10 is called Adrift. Maybe aptly named. And again, I want to always thank the Village of Howard for sponsoring me for our virtual meditation. It is so great to see the new people and regulars. So take a deep breath in and out and smile. If you don't want to see our faces, remember, hit that hyphen and we'll disappear. Okay, we're gone. So from world news today, as people shelter in place and streets remain empty, the wildlife is returning to Inverness, Scotland. Remember, our Monday mornings and Thursday evenings have the same Zoom addresses all the way through June. Make sure if you're a village person, you sign up on the calendar for the sessions. For the new folks, we have an intro, a guided relaxation. Today's reading, Barbara D'Amelio gave me music. It's from my brother and Aldima. And we'll have silence. And again, if you need to come out of the silence and just be more silent on your own, feel free. But if you want to stay, we're going to have a discussion this time. I am going to mute your microphones right now and do want to thank you for the feedback about me reading a little bit slower with some of the readings, shorter music, longer silence. And again, you can decide when to end if you need more silent time or need to go. The intention for today will be during this time to think about what's been happening the last couple of weeks. Those who want to remain in Zoom at the end, feel free, because we'll discuss about COVID, how you're feeling about that, the economic depression, the protests. If you'd like to be on your own afterwards, feel free to do that too. The reading is coming from Mark Nepo, born in 1951 from Brooklyn guy. He's a poet and spiritual advisor teaching at SUNY in New York. He's published 12 books, famous ones, Book of Awakening, 7,000 Ways to Listen. As a cancer survivor, and is one of the speakers in Oprah's Super Soul Sunday that has many visionaries and influential leaders speak. Let's take those 3 mindful breaths. First breath. Second breath. Third breath. And smile. The flower doesn't dream of the bee. It blossoms and the bee comes. To listen. To listen is to continually give up all expectation and to give our attention completely and freshly to what is before us, not really knowing what we will hear or what that will mean. In the practice of our days, to listen is to lean in softly with a willingness to be changed by what we hear. Mark Nepo. Healing. When we heal ourselves, we heal the world. We are one at the root. So today we're going to experience a script of Prayer for the World, a reading from Mark Nepo called Adrift, music from George Winston, Living Without You, our silence, and if you want to stay, a discussion about American today. Don't forget, you control your own sound on your devices. And George Winston, many of us I'm sure have heard of, was born in 1949, an American pianist born in Michigan, but traveled and lived in Montana the early 80s. He has sold millions of copies of his work, and his styles, the melodic, rural folk piano, stride piano, inspired by Fats Waller and Teddy Wilson. He also is a survivor of cancer. So let's begin our reflection. Settle your body into a comfortable position. The intention of today's healing prayer for the world meditation is to guide you through a prayer that will help you send healing and loving energy out into the world so we can collectively shift out of darkness and live in the light. The world needs your love today. Her people are suffering mentally, emotionally, economically, physically, and spiritually. And today, you can send your healing love to her, to the earth, to the collective human race, to your family, your friends, your colleagues, and your neighbors. Also, to those you've never met, and everyone and every being in between. So the intention of today's meditation is to guide you through a prayer that will help you send healing and loving energy out into the world. Why? So we can collectively shift out of darkness and live in the light. Let us begin. Let's begin by getting comfortable. Maybe you're sitting or lying down. Move around a little bit. And when you settle into position, if you wish, close your eyes. Deep. Breathe in deeply. Exhale completely, forcing the rhythm of your body to slow down. Feel the coolness of your breath coming in through your nose and the warmth exhaling out of your nose. Feel the rhythm of the breath like the waves of the ocean. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Let your body relax a little deeper. And as thoughts come up, just recognize them and let them go. Bring your attention back to the rhythm of your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Feel the warmth inside of you gathering around your heart. The soft white light is hovering in a sphere. It's charged with a deep, deep desire to heal. Send your love there to the sphere of white light hovering at your heart. Send your compassion. Send your kindness. Send your empathy. Send your healing prayer to this sphere. And see as it grows, this ball of light, see it as it gets charged with your love. This ball of light lives in your heart. And now it's time to give it to the world. So take a deep breath in, getting your whole body and mind and spirit ready to release your light. And as you exhale, imagine this ball of light shining out onto the world around you. Let your light shine on your family, your friends, your neighbors, your country, your world. Continue to see yourself shining your light brighter and brighter with every breath out as you hear yourself silently say these words: May love heal our world. May we all choose kindness and compassion. May those who are sick heal. May those who are anxious find peace. May those who are in pain be relieved. May those who have light to spread come forth. May those who have darkness in their hearts find love. May the individual and collective fear be washed away. And may the light inside of me radiate out into the world and every being who is part of it. As you see your light beaming from you, imagine another person to your right whose light is also shining. Turn to the imaginary person to your left whose light is also beaming. And see that one by one, hundreds, thousands, millions of people are around you, each radiating their own source of light, shining it with healing and love out into the world. May the light inside of me and the light inside of all of us together heal the world. Everything is beautiful, and so I am sad. This is how the heart makes a duet of wonder and grief. The light spraying through the lace of the fern is as delicate as the fibers of memory forming their web around my throat. The breeze makes the birds move from branch to branch, as this aches makes me look for those I've lost in the next room, in the next song, and the laugh of the next stranger. In the very center, under it all, what we have that no one can take away, and all that we've lost face each other. It is there that I'm adrift, feeling punctured by the holiness that exists inside everything. I am so sad. And everything is beautiful. Mark Nepo, Adrift. Calmness washes over me, and every deep breath I take. Every day I am more and more at ease. Being calm and relaxed energizes my whole being. All the muscles in my body are releasing and relaxing. All negativity and stress are evaporating from my body and my mind. I breathe in relaxation. I breathe out stress. Even when there is chaos around me, I remain calm and centered. I transcend stress of any kind. I live in peace. I am free of anxiety, and a calm inner peace fills my mind and my body. All is well. I am calm, happy, and content. You're one at the root. Gently start moving your body a little. Bring your attention to your fingers and start moving them slowly. Body part by body part. Slowly come out of meditation. Breathe for yourself and breathe for the world. Breathe in compassion. Breathe out joy. Take a full breath in and a long, deep breath out. The world this week has been having protests. Like a pandemic, it's a world virus. The world really has to change. People are taking a knee in solidarity. How are you feeling? If you want to stay to share, remain in Zoom. If you need to contemplate on your own, feel free to. Thank you for sharing in this space of reflection as we explored being adrift. Namaste. America today. There's COVID-19, economic depression, protests from the 60s and 2020s. Many of us might be having tears. What did tears do? Lots of tears. Create healing, build resilience, produce strength. Tears release a valve for momentary sadness and stress. They purge up pent-up emotions so they don't lodge in their body, causing pain, exhaustion, irritability, and illness. And after crying, our breathing and heart rate decrease, entering us into a calmer biological and emotional state. And some days, though, life is just hard, and some days are just rough, and some days you just got to cry before you move forward. And all of that, it's okay. Marcy Leonard in Wilde Lake High School brought up about the students who are graduating high school born in the shadow of 9/11 and graduate in the midst of the pandemic. And she shared in the beginning of the year, but now they're using it now too, about ohana. And ohana in Hawaiian means extended family, not necessarily by blood, but it could be our friends, our neighbors, our teachers. It's people bound together by compassion, support, loyalty, and love, such that no one is left behind or forgotten. Her message to the graduates encompassed these 4 characteristics that they needed to take into the future: compassion, empathy, flexibility, and love. Compassion to whoever they're helping, their siblings, parents, or community. Empathy to Wilde Lake and the world. Just understanding other people who are different than you. Immigrants, people of different sexuality. Like even leaving toilet paper on the shelf for others. Not making people feel afraid to be on a run or knocking on your door. Empathy to make decisions to help all of us, not just some of us. And flexibility when you really don't know what's in store for you. Flexibility lets you pivot. It's the art of knowing what to overlook and what to focus on, which is really important. And love, Marcy said, is the most important. Don't be afraid to make decisions on love for others and for yourself. Give yourself permission to be imperfect and give grace to others. to make mistakes. And her faculty had a YouTube on promising. It was very powerful. Like, they promised to advocate for their students who have been marginalized due to the color of their skin. They promised to listen and learn from different people with different backgrounds, different than themselves, and continue in those conversations. They promised to examine their classroom practices introspectively by working towards eliminating implicit bias and unjust disciplinary actions towards my students of color. They promised to work with students to explore the ways that scientific knowledge can be used as a tool for justice, equity, and liberation. And one teacher said, I promise to use my privilege to call out acts of racism when I see them or hear them, and continue to work on how to be an anti-racist and follow up that work with concrete action. I promise to apologize for those times when I inevitably get it wrong. I promise to be present, showing up in all spaces as my authentic self, with an open heart and an open mind, challenging myself and others to be the change. I promise to continue reflecting on my own race and privilege and practice pushing back on white solidarity. I promise to listen and learn from all my students, to value diversity as an instrument of understanding, creativity, and compassion. And then from Tom Paine, shared excerpts from Dr. Larry Ward, who has a YouTube I'll send to you on the fires of grief are burning. And Dr. Larry Ward is a Dharma teacher from the Lotus Institute, ordained by Thich Nhat Hahn. That's why I like him. He's inspired by Dr. Martin Luther King on nonviolent and social change and healing and transformation. And he's wonderful and talks about healing for self and community. He encompasses Buddhist practices and justice, service work, psychology, resiliency training. He's talking about what's happening in America right now. He shared Thich Nhat Hanh's poem after the bombing in Vietnam. I hold my face in my two hands. No, I'm not crying. I hold my face in my two hands to keep my loneliness warm. Two hands protecting. Two hands nourishing. Two hands preventing my soul from leaving me in anger. So what can we do? Self-care, he says. Sit in silence with it, just as Tara Brach said in her Radical Acceptance. Create communities of resilience. This is what Marcy's doing with Wilde Lake High School, where there's kindness and openness, generosity, sanity, and lovingness. Then he shares, be in nature. Create poems, music, writing, artwork. Small acts, when multiplied by millions of people, can transform the world. All people, doctors, lawyers, educators, youth, elders, all walks of life are doing whatever they can to make people aware and implement action in their own way. Stand up in the house of belonging, says Dr. Larry Ward. Ride the winds of change. Act like the mighty ones of old. Embrace their wild resilience. Embrace what is possible. Namaste. Hope this helped get conversations going and helped us feel a little better in some ways. Namaste.